Hi everyone, it's Dawn Fisher again, Morning Glory Needleworks. This is my fourth FlossTube video. Welcome, welcome. I'm so excited you're here. Thank you to everyone who subscribed, commented, and liked my channel. The more you do that, the more people can see it. I really appreciate that. And thank you again to everyone who has already. So remember that I put all the links down in the bottom. It'll be underneath in the description. It tells about the video. And then at the bottom of that, I'm going to put links to everything that I talk about. I'll mention it in each section that there's a link below. I also put, I'll have all the chapters for this video. So if you just want to see certain sections of it, you can jump to whatever you want to watch. There'll be a title and a time, and you just click on the time and it'll take you right to the section you want to see. I hope you watch the whole thing, but if there's something you just want to see or want to see again, you can get to it through that. So a life update. I'm excited to say that Jeffrey and I will be moving some of our antiques into a brand new antique mall in Gulfport, Florida. It's very close to St. Pete here. It's very close to my house, actually. And the shop isn't open yet, but it's going to be a real cute little shop. It's just going to have a few vendors. It's not going to be a huge mall, but it's going to have really nice items, including Chin, who was at a lot of the people in this mall were actually at the other mall I was at when we had our shop there. So there's a woman that makes fabulous stained glass there. And then there'll be antiques and things also. So we're going to be start moving our stuff in soon. The shop isn't open yet. I'm not sure when it's going to be open. I would say probably at least by the beginning of March. You know, of course, she's waiting on all the licenses and things to come through. So, but if you're interested, or if you're going to be in the area, you can follow our Facebook page. We have a page for our shop. It's called Morning Glory Cottage. And again, the links will be in the description below this. And I'll be updating the Facebook page with all the information and the address and pictures. I'll be taking pictures as we get set up. So I'm very excited about that. That should be, that'll be a really good time. It's a nice little shop. It's going to have really nice items in it. So that's my life update. Not much else going on, thank goodness. Everything's great. We're still working out twice a week and just having a great time. So the next thing I want to talk about is retreats. I'm actually going to a retreat the end of this month. It's the Sunshine State Stitchers Winter Retreat put on by Anna Williamson. It is February 24th to 26th. And it's a local retreat here. It's in Brandon, so it's not too far. It's near Tampa. It's not too far from St. Petersburg. But Anna puts on wonderful retreats. This retreat is full because, or not full, but it's already been cut off. You can't sign up for it anymore right now because it's too close to the retreat. But Anna has several retreats throughout the year. Some local here, some in other areas of Florida, some in the Ozarks. Just different places. I will put links in the bottom again to Sunshine State Stitchers, which is her page, and that's where she posts the retreat she's going to, or she's having. And I've been to quite a few, and they're wonderful. There's a lot of goodies, special things you get. In the next video, I'll be showing everything I got at the retreat. And I also appreciate she lets me sell my items at the retreat, at some of the retreats. If there's no competing store, she'll let me set up there. So it's nice. And I get to meet more people and just have a good time. They have wonderful food. You get lunches every day. It's always at a very nice hotel. And the fee includes a registration fee, includes lunch for each day. And a lot of times people go out for dinner after the at night for the retreat. So again, you can join Sunshine State Stitchers. I'll put the link in the bottom. And also there's another page called Florida Stitching Events. I will put a link to that also. And that is any retreat in the state of Florida. A lot of people, other people that run retreats, post them on that page. I posted, I had a retreat one time, but then COVID hit, of course. So I didn't have any more retreats. And Anna's retreats are just so fabulous. I just decided I would just go to her retreats because they're already here in this area, and just enjoy them and relax and share time with my other stitching friends. And I'm just really looking forward to this. It's good to be able to get away again. And this retreat's for 3 days. So it's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So that'll be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. So the next thing I want to give is just a real quick Stitch of the Month update. I'm not going to be doing a new stitch right now. The next one will be on March 1st, which is my birthday. And so, but I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who's joined the Stitch of the Month Facebook group. We're actually at almost 340 members. I'm thrilled. A few people have been posting a few things. If you want to post some stitches you want to learn or some stitches you're working on, I posted an update on the sampler I'm working on that I'm going to talk about later. So just be sure to let me know of any stitches you want to learn. That's what happened. Sue Donnelly requested variations on road stitch. So my last FlossTube, I went over a few of these stitches. This handout is available in the files on the Stitch of the Month Facebook group. So you can just go there and download it. And it's a PDF file, it's under files. And then there's also this free Hearts and Crowns pin cushion chart is on there also. So you can just go there and download. And the first Stitch of the Month I did was actually basic cross stitching and how to cross stitch over 2 threads on linen, how to cross stitch over 1 thread, waist knots. I talked about away waist knots and a regular waist knot. So that file is also on there. It just gives you some basic stitching hints. So that was the first thing I did. So be sure to subscribe to Morning Glory Needleworks FlossTube channel and to Stitch of the Month. Again, links down in the bottom. So the next thing I want to talk about is on February 10th, I was privileged to give a talk to about some of my samplers, the samplers in my collection, to the Dallas Needlework and Textile Guild Embroiderers Guild, EGA, Embroiderers Guild of America. I'm actually going to be talking about one of the samplers that's in that talk later in this video. But it was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I was hoping to be there in person, but with everything going on, I couldn't leave. And so we did it over Zoom. And then that way, actually, more people could watch that couldn't come to the meeting or weren't comfortable coming to a meeting. But it was really interesting. I got to sit through their meeting and see what they were doing. I hadn't been to an in-person EGA meeting in a lot of years, a real meeting, because I'm on the, I'm actually a member of Cyber Stitchers. So it's an online group. So, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the hospitality. They were very welcoming. It was fun. There was a lot of good questions at the end. And I'm just hoping to visit in person someday. And if you're interested in me giving a talk to your group or your guild, I can do it over Zoom. I can do it in person. You can just contact me. I have a nice, it's about an hour long talk on, like I said, a lot of samplers in my collection, not all of them because I have a lot of them, but just kind of go over the samplers and whatever history I know about them, what stitches they use and the background. And you're going to see a little bit of that further on in the video, how the talk goes. So again, I'm very thankful that they asked me to come talk for them. So the next thing I want to talk about is some antique sewing boxes that I have in my collection. As I've said before, I have hundreds of items in my needlework collection, my antique needlework tools, books, just all sorts of items. And I want to kind of talk about something every time, just so you can learn about items that are out there. I find them at flea markets. I find them at antique stores, garage sales. You never know where you're going to find them. The ones I'm talking about today are much older, but I do have some newer ones from the 50s and 60s. You find a lot of those at garage sales. They're various prices. Personally, I don't pay a lot for items unless it's something I really, really, really want. But anyway, so that's what I'm going to talk about now. The first one is this beautiful wood, and it is solid. It's very heavy. It's a solid wood sewing chest, sewing box. This is inlaid wood. To me, they look kind of like spools. I don't know if they're supposed to be, but that's what they look like to me. It's a beautiful old box. I don't have the key. It does have a keyhole. I don't have the key. It's very old. You can see it's got a few cracks and things in it, but inside of it, it's kind of stiff to open. There's a mirror inside, but I don't want to show you everything in my sewing room. So it's just a nice wooden box. And then inside the box is another little box with openings. And that's what really makes it special. Get these things off of here. So this is the box, or the little inset box that sits inside of there. Isn't that wonderful? And then this is probably an ivory knob here. It opens up into a velvet pin cushion. So isn't that, trying to get the light here. There we go. You can see. And then there's these beautiful wood spools here. They don't come out, but so this one still has the thread. It's probably, it looks like silk cording that somebody had wrapped around there. I tend to leave items in there that I don't, if it comes with items in it, I just leave them in there unless they're, going to damage it somehow. But this is a wooden spool and it turns so that they could wind the thread on it. And then this one had a few little things in it, not much. Sometimes they have all sorts of treasures in them. It did have a couple of needle threaders, a more recent one. That's the ones we use. Oh boy, there. That's the ones kind of like what we use now, the little ones you can buy. This is an older one, same general principle. It says Germany on it. I don't know if these say Germany or not. These also say Germany. It may have been made by the same company, but this is obviously an older one. If you look at it, the style is older and different. It also has this big, I don't know what it is. It's like it's an awl. It's not a needle. There's no hole in the end. It has a straight end on it. So I'm not sure, maybe it went inside, maybe it was a tool that had something on the end of it, but it's sharp. It's a very sharp tool. So the next box I want to talk about, I love it. It's looks very plain and simple. It's open here. It has this picture on top. It's just like glued on, decoupaged on, and it is Putney Church. I have not done any research on Putney Church. The box is very plain. It's got a keyhole. Again, I don't have the key. And then inside this one, it also has a little tray with items in it. And I left all the items in it. It has this wonderful little satin pin cushion that comes out, and then other items sit inside. And I will pull, this one had a little, I think she was wrapping string on this, and it says Emmy on it. It's got her name written on it, Emmy. And then there is a thimble, just your basic thimble. There's this beautiful needle book here, if I can get it out. Wonderful needle book, a little bit fancier than what we get now. Isn't that pretty? Needle book, bird with flowers. And the needles are still in here. It doesn't look like she used any of the needles. They're still in there. They're a little rusty. I would not use them, but I'm going to leave them in there because, like I said, I like to leave stuff the way it is. And then there's another needle book here, a more plain one. And this is actually darning needles. It says Superior Assorted Darners. And then they are actually still wrapped in the paper. They have not even been, I have not opened that up. It's still glued shut. They have not touched that. It has this wonderful bit of crocheted lace edging, and I don't know if that's something that she was working on, but it was in this box here, and then a box of pins. These are Rylands and Sons solid head mixed pins. And what I thought was interesting is she used a pin. She has a pin poked in the side to hold the box lid on both sides. I thought that was a good idea. If you have a paper box full of pins, usually they're in little plastic boxes now, but I thought this was interesting. And I don't know if you can see, but the needles are much bigger than ours. They're much heavier, thicker than the needles, or not needles, the pins, the straight pins we get now. These are very heavy. I don't know if there's a why, if they had thinner pins or not, but these are very heavy pins. And then inside, in the bottom of the box, underneath this tray, there was a little piece of embroidery pattern. It looks like it was an iron-on one. There was a couple of those. There was a hank of silk thread, and this is probably how they got it, wrapped in paper with a piece of string tied around it to hold it in place. The beautiful aqua colored silk thread. There was a little pair of cheap scissors, which I'm not real impressed with. They're in pretty bad shape. They're very rusty. I think it says made in Italy. I'm not sure, but they're nothing special, not a special pin. But what I loved, if you look at the box, to me it looked fairly new. It looked fairly recent. I didn't think it was that old. And when I bought it, I really didn't examine it that well. And then a while back, I started pulling stuff out. And actually, when we were moving and I was unpacking things and putting them in the display case, I happened to pull out the tray and really look at what was inside the box. And here is a label that she put inside this box, and it says School Board of London, Queen's Head Street School, Emily Ring, a scholar in Standard 4, attended punctually in accordance with the board's regulations during the whole of the school year ended 30th June, 1896. I had no idea this was that old. And then it's signed by the head teacher. Looks like J. Wentworth. I did a little research, and the school's been torn down, so I don't have a lot of information on it, but it does say book awarded for punctual and regular attendance. So I don't know if she got this and it was in a book, or if they actually gave her the sewing box instead of a book, and then that was the only labels they used. Being a girl, maybe they decided girls needed sewing boxes instead of books. I don't know, but I was thrilled to find out this was that old. Like I said, I had no idea when I bought it, because it doesn't look that old. So the next one I want to talk about is really spectacular. Now, I've never seen another one like it. I can't remember exactly where I got it, but it's amazing. It's very unusual. This is crushed velvet. This was probably pressed into this form. There's a lot of detail. I think it's a moth. First, I thought it was a butterfly, but looking at its antenna and things in the body, I believe it's a moth, because you can actually see the little feelers or the detail in the antenna here, and it's got little eyes in it. But isn't that fabulous? And this is like 3-dimensional. This is not flat. So, and it's shaped like that. I was just so I fell in love with it. I couldn't resist it. And it's even got a beautiful clasp on that side. The hinges are really nice. It's in wonderful shape. And then this had some wonderful treasures in it. So let me open this up and then I will show you the inside, but I want to show you the treasures. It had a well-used darnings, a sock darner, obviously well-used and well-worn. It had two, these are needle cases, had two wooden needle cases in here. This is a typical one. I've seen a lot of these. This one's a little bit different with the rounded edge on it. This one has, still has needles in it, pretty rusted needles, but it still has needles in it actually. And these are boy needles, B-O-Y-E. I think I've seen these, a lot of these. Another wonderful, wonderful thing that's in here. Oh, let's show this one first. This is a beautiful, probably ivory needle case. No needles in it, but it may be ivory or bone or something along that line, but it fits right in the lid. I'll show you the inside of this in a minute, but just a beautiful needle case. And then these are really special also. I don't know if you've seen these. This is shaker. It's a shaker sweetgrass. This is a scissor holder. A small pair of scissors would fit in there. This is just a little decorative piece here. I don't know if you hung it from that. I think it's just so you know your scissors are in there. But this is just a wonderful little sweetgrass scissor holder. And then there was 3 of these fabulous sweetgrass thimble cases. These open up and the thimble fits right inside. And this one actually has 3 of these. These are hard to find and they're pretty expensive if you go to buy one of these. Just for one of these can be $25, $30 a piece. I did not pay that much. But and here's one. This one's got a little bit of damage on it. There's the lid, just goes back on that. And like I said, it holds a thimble. But here is this fabulous case. Oops, one more thing to talk about that was in there. But this is the inside. Isn't this beautiful? Beautiful pin cushion. This would hold your thimble. And up here would be all your scissors and other tools. This, this needle case actually fits right in there. So, and it's beautiful. It's like an aqua or pale green satin. It's hard to see in the light here, but it's like a light green satin, but it's in wonderful, wonderful shape. There's other than maybe a little staining where some of the tools might have rusted. It's not damaged at all. It's just beautiful. And I love it. And this actually sits in my, I have a glass case in the living room. So this one's in the glass case so I can see it more often. But I forgot there was another little item in here that I wanted to show you, which it's a little tiny, I think it's cast iron figurine, little doll. I can't remember what these were called. They were called something, I don't know. It's a woman, it's a female shape. But anyway, she's tiny, obviously very tiny. And she's naked, there's her butt. So anyway, but that was inside that sewing box. So that's my main sewing boxes. I have a few more. I have a few more of the modern ones, more from the, later dates, more our era. But these were the special ones and I wanted to share them with you. So there you are. If there's anything else you want to see, please, let me know and I'll see if I have one in my collection. I have sewing birds. I have lots of pin cushions, scissor holders. I have all sorts of fun items. So the next thing I want to talk about is Sary Outfil, the sampler I'm working on. I have it down here. This is the one I showed you last month. It's a sampler I'm reproducing. I have the original sampler. It's dated 1709 And actually in another place it's dated 1710. So that's probably when she finished it. But I just wanted to give you an update, and I'll probably do that each time. I'm a little bit further on it. So here we are. I think last time I was just in the first section here, and now it's broken into sections. The sampler is broken into sections because some sections of this sampler are done over 3 threads and some are done over 4 threads, and a few little items are done over 2 threads. So to make it easier to stitch, I broke it into 10 separate sections. The sampler is about 6.8 inches wide. This is 46 count Bristol linen, which I coffee dyed. It was a antique white linen and it was a little bright for me. So I just did a coffee dye on it to tone it down a little bit. But this first section here, up to this line here, is done over 3 threads, which was a little challenging, not bad. It's not quite as easy to get the hang of. You really have to pay more attention than just stitching over 2 threads. And I am going to say I had to take out a few areas where I ended up being off 1 thread. It either went over 2 threads or went over 4. But it wasn't bad. I'm enjoying it. I'm really loving this. This bottom section here is done. It's done over 4, but it's really over 2 because it's an eyelet stitch. So each step is over 2. The challenging part was, and I ended up taking a few letters out because I wasn't paying attention. Each of the letters, even though they're over 4 threads, they're only 3 threads apart. So if you mess up one, you're going to end up way off. So I pulled out, I think it was like the second A. There's 2 A's. She has 2 A's. You can see up here, AA. But I ended up having to pull one out, move it over 1 thread. Luckily, I caught it right away. But I just have to pay attention. I've caught myself a couple of times because you get used to counting over 4 threads to make your stitches. So I'm almost done. This has, I'm working on this band here, which is nice and easy because it's just the pattern is the same all the way across. It's 2 different colors. So you just do a section in one color and then the next. And once that's done, there's one more alphabet band of the 4-sided or the eyelet stitch, and then another little border, and then I'll move into another section, which I believe is satin stitch over 3 threads. So like I said, I'll keep updating you. I'm really enjoying this. This is what I work on while I'm watching the Olympics. So I'm hoping I will get a lot done. I'm actually going to take it to the retreat with me and work on. I hope it won't be too confusing while we're having fun and talking. To be working on something this complicated. And I forgot to say, this sampler will be 36.5 inches long, the design area on 46 count linen. So it's a very big sampler, but it's a lot of fun and I'm really enjoying it. So, like I said, I'll keep you updated. And then as I get it done, eventually this pattern will be available in my Etsy shop. So stay tuned. So the next thing I want to talk about is this was a sampler that was in the lecture I was talking about that I did for the Dallas Needlework and Textile Guild. It's a sweet sampler, and I'm going to pull up part of the presentation I do so you can see close-up pictures of it. So I will do that and we will talk about that. So this sweet sampler is a morning sampler for Lucy Houseman. It's dated 1834, and it was stitched in remembrance of Lucy. And you can see across the top of the sampler, the first area says, July 19th, died at her uncle's in Bromfield, deeply regretted. Lucy, second daughter of Mr. Thomas Houseman of Hartlebury in the county of Worcester. Age 15, 1834. So obviously she died at her uncle's house in Bromfield, and Lucy was the second daughter of Thomas Houseman. I do collect morning samplers and other morning items, needlework, rings, pins, all sorts of items. But this one I really love. It's very sweet. I actually don't remember where I got it or when I got it because I have so many samplers, but obviously I fell in love with it. So this sampler was stitched using silk on 40 count linen. And it was probably edged in a green linen or green ribbon around the outside edge. You can see along the top and side, left side of the sampler, there's like a green dye, green that has bled onto it. And again, you can see on the picture in the top right, there's some green dye there that has bled through. And then down in the bottom right, you can actually still see a little piece of the ribbon. Somebody at one point, maybe when it was framed or reframed, they must have cut the ribbon off of it. So I don't know why, but that's what happened. So I was able to find out a little bit of information on Lucy through FamilySearch.org. I think that was the one I used. Her christening date was October 14th, 1818, and her christening place was Hartlebury, Worcester, England. Her father's name, as it says, was Thomas Houseman, and having his name enabled me to be able to find more information. The more information you have, it helps. Having the date she died helped, a birth date helps, and any family member's name helps. I did find out that her mother's name was Sarah Houseman, and her older sister was Elizabeth Houseman. I did not see any other children listed. I could not find any other information. It does say in the sampler, Lucy was the second daughter, so we assume Elizabeth was the older daughter. And maybe Elizabeth stitched this sampler. I don't know. The sampler's not dated, and there's no name on it. I assume it was stitched in 1834, around the same age as when Lucy died. This next page shows the hymn that she stitched on the sampler, 2 verses of this hymn, 2 verses of this hymn. It's called The Christian Sleep. I found it online through Google. I just searched the first line of the hymn, and that's how I find a lot of items. And I found this one. This is from a book dated 1888, and which is much later than when the sampler was stitched, but obviously the hymn has been around a lot longer. I think there was, I found another page that had like 47 different references or books that had this hymn in it, but this one had the clearest picture and all the music for it. So I thought this would be a good one to show it. And the verse, I just love it. The hymn, it's very sweet. It says, "Dear in the spot where Christians sleep, and sweet the strain which angels pour. Oh, why should we in anguish weep? They are not lost, but gone before. Secure from every mortal care, by sin and sorrow vexed no more. Eternal happiness they share, who are not lost, but gone before." And those are the first 2 verses she stitched. There's 2 more verses, but when she stitched it, she changed the last line from "they are not lost" and "who are not lost." She changed it to "she is not lost, but gone before." And that just touched me. I love this so much. She changed both of the lines to say that, so she would know and others would know eventually she will again be with her sister or be with Lucy. She will see her sometime later. But I just fell in love with this. So this next frame or picture shows why you should definitely use acid-free for mounting. I believe this sampler was originally mounted on a board. I don't remember if I got it framed. I usually leave samplers framed, not always. It depends on how they're framed, but I left this framed, and I left this with the paper that was on the back of it. You can see where the sampler was folded. There's actually a crease in the sampler and some worn spots on the sampler from where it was folded. But this paper was behind this sampler. It was probably nailed to a piece of wood or glued or stuck or just mounted on a piece of wood. I mean, just wood, not treated painted wood, just a piece of raw wood. So you can see this paper, which was probably white, is now brown, and you can see where every little spot where the stitching was on this sampler. So all that leached through the paper, and the sampler, the linen may have been whiter at one time also. And that's why you get a lot of color changes and things. So please always frame with acid-free stuff. Try and frame, fairly conservatively. You don't have to go crazy and spend thousands of dollars, but you don't want something glue or something to leach through into your stitching. So again, I want to say thank you. I hope you enjoyed the talk. I hope you enjoyed looking at all the items. I want to mention real quick, because I'm so excited. I told you last time I'm going to be doing a class. This is called Fair Virtue, and there's another verse you can use for Honor Thy Mother, where you can put your mother and her mother and her mother on it. But I've ordered the supplies, which are coming in. I'm still waiting on the linen. So once I get that, I will be putting the class together, posting it on my Etsy shop. What you will do is you will purchase a kit, and when you get the kit, you will get an email with a link, and there will be a YouTube video like this one, and I will be demonstrating all the stitches, talking about everything that's in the kit, and like I said, going over each of the stitches. There'll be chapters in it like I do on this one. So if you want to jump to a certain stitch, if you've stitched part of it and then want to go over another stitch again, or just want to get to the next stitch, you just click on that chapter and it will take you to the stitch you want to learn, or the next stitch in the sampler. So I hope you're interested in that. But I was so excited. Some of the supplies have come in, and oh my God, this is a bag of silk threads. Is that not gorgeous? I just drool. I'm just looking at these threads and drooling. I don't even want to take them out of the bag, just because I'm sitting here oohing and eyeing over all these beautiful threads. You're getting a little glare from the light, but oh my God. And it's just luscious. They're just, the sheen on them is just wonderful. So eventually I'm going to have to open them up, and then I can play with them, get them packaged up. So it'll have all 10 different shades of silk in the kit. It will have 32 count, can't remember the name of the linen. I think it's parchment or something along that line. Just a nice off-white, beautiful linen in the kit. At least 25 pages of instructions, color copies of the chart, black and white copies of the chart, another chart for if you want to do the Honor Thy Mother instead of Fair Virtue, trying to cover all the bases and make sure you don't have any problems. All the stitch diagrams will be in there. But like I said, I will be demonstrating every stitch, and you will have access to the video to be able to see how the stitches are done. And of course, as always, if you have any questions, you can email me, dawn@morninggloryneedleworks.com. My email, everything, Etsy link is down under the, in the description again with everything else. So if there's any reason you need to get a hold of me, please don't hesitate to contact me. I would love to come teach or an online class. I do Zoom classes now too. So that does save some money. So you don't have to pay to have me come visit you, but I'd love to come visit. So, but be sure to, again, subscribe to my channel so you can learn more about what's going on. I hope you enjoyed learning about everything I talked about today. Subscribe, comment below, like my channel. It helps the algorithm they use to bring more people in, because I'd like to get more people watching my channel. But I just want to say thank you for subscribing if you have, and visiting, and just even watching. I appreciate it. So thank you, and I will see you again on March 1st, which is my birthday. Bye.